WSB.
Hi, Sean.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. A great host. Sean is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
One mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. Let's get right to it. Oh, by the way, if you RSVP'd for the debate or town hall tomorrow for the 14th Congressional District, you should know by now that it's been canceled. It's been moved to February 12th, Thursday, February 12th. So please know that. Do not go out. Well, you couldn't go anywhere because unless you RSVP'd, you didn't know where it was going to be. So got that out of the way. Also, tonight, Magic Mike, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. We're starting a new segment. We're trying out 748. You can start calling anytime you want. 448-720-750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. It's called Rant On. You have 10 seconds to say whatever you want to say. Got to keep it clean, no curse words, you know the rules, but 10 seconds to say what you want. You know I open up every show with a rant or a monologue, whatever you want to call it. Well, you have 10 seconds to do your own rant/monologue. 10 seconds, that's going to be at 7:48. You can start calling in whenever you want to. We're going to try that out tonight on Friday night. 448-720-750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. I want to start here with the news of the day. Don Lemon. Now, let me first, I need to, first of all, you need to be aware of something, okay? African Americans, by racial group, are the highest percentage of people who are religious or who have a religious affiliation and attend church, attend services. Whether it's church, whatever it is. But African Americans, if you look at all the racial groups, African Americans are regularly at the top of the list in terms of percent-wise of people that attend religious services. So the three major organizers of this protest in the church, and I'm consistent, I said this the day it happened, right, were all African American, Don Lemon and two others. All of them should have known better, okay? You don't run up into a church service while it's going on to protest anything. Nothing whatsoever, okay? I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. You don't do it. And you certainly don't do it during Sunday services with children and so forth in there to yell at the pastor while church is going on. As an African-American, Don Lemon should have known this just by virtue of how he was raised. I don't know where he's doing now. I don't know if he's a churchgoer. I don't know if he's an atheist. I don't know if he's converted to Islam or Judaism or whatever. But whatever it is, you don't go into a religious service, particularly a church. I don't care if it's white, black, Hispanic, whatever, on service day, to yell at people about your politics. It's just verboten. It's wrong. You don't do it. So if he's going to get in trouble, he should get in trouble for nothing, if nothing else, for being stupid and just being rude and stupid. They could have waited till Monday morning and had a huge protest outside that church because they thought the pastor was the head of ICE in Minnesota. Whether he is or not, it doesn't matter. They could have waited. Monday morning would have been a great time to stand out there and protest. But you ran up in a church on Sunday. You got to know better than that. But I also want to tell you something, that I'm not in support of this at all. There's no but, there's no however or anything like that. He's wrong. If whatever trouble he gets in, do I think he should go to jail for years? Absolutely not. Not for this, no. And you could tell me the law and all that, but no, I don't think anybody should go to jail for years. But I want to tell you this story. In 2021, on January 6th, leading up to that rally, I was asked by a very close friend who they organized a bus trip to D.C. for the rally. And they asked me, hey, do you want to go? Maybe you could broadcast live from there. And I'd given it some thought, not for very long, but one of the things that I thought about was, well, the rally's in the afternoon. I could fly up to D.C., get some sound, get some video, and then fly back and make it for the show. Because at that time, we were on 9 to midnight. So I could go up and come back and cover the rally and everything else. But then I was like, I'm not going to do that. That's a lot of flying. It's a lot of work. I got to spend the money on my own. No, it's not like the station's going to send me. So it's not, it's a passing thought, right? But I want to say, had I gone on January 6th to the rally, not knowing what was going to transpire after the rally, but had I gone, and I heard that there was a riot going on or people were scaling the walls of the Capitol to get into the Capitol on January 6th in 2021, had I gone as a quote-unquote talker, as a quote-unquote journalist, as a quote-unquote reporter, as a quote-unquote opinion person, as a quote-unquote pundit, all of those things wrapped up together, I would have ran down to the Capitol to get sound, what we call audio or video. I would have done that. I know I would have. And I might have found myself following or just videotaping and interviewing people, and I would have possibly found myself in the Capitol, especially if I saw the Capitol Police letting people in. I would have wanted to capture that. I would have wanted to bring that back and play exclusive audio and video on my social media, on my radio show, all of this stuff. And eventually, had that happened, the FBI would have knocked on my door. And I would have yelled, but I'm a reporter, but I'm part of the press. I would have flashed my CMG badge at the FBI. I still would have had to get a lawyer. I still would have probably been locked up. Not sure how long. I would have lost my job here because they wouldn't have gone for it. What do you mean you went into Capitol on January 6th, Shelley Winter? You're gone. All of that would have happened to me. And yes, eventually I would have been pardoned like everyone else by the president, but I would have had to go through that. My point here is, in the world that we live in today, Don Lemon should be in trouble for doing what he did. But you or anybody else can't define what a journalist is in today's world. Anybody on social media, anybody on Twitter, anybody on the radio, everybody in the world today is a journalist. And trust me when I say this to all of you, particularly those so loudly screaming, he's not a journalist. Let me tell you, he is as much a journalist as all of you. And he is much not a journalist as all of you. Social media has created millions of so-called journalists. And they're all the same. No one's balanced. Everyone has a point of view. Everyone's pushing their side. So you can't accuse him of not being a journalist because he's not objective, because there are many of you on podcasts, on Twitter, on Facebook, on television, on radio who push your side. So that's out the window. What I'm saying to you is, yes, in the pure definition of the word journalism, nobody's a journalist anymore. But he is a member of the media. And he should be punished. I don't think he should go to jail. I didn't think the January 6ers should have gone to jail, except those that assaulted police officers. But it shouldn't have been a whole bunch of people just for being there. No. But this is my point. My good friend Brandon Straka went to jail on January 6th. He was simply videotaping. He was a member of the media. And that didn't save him. So member of the media should not save Don Lemon. But it especially should not save him, because at the end of the day, I don't care about his religious. I don't know about his religion. I don't know if he practices any kind of religion. I do know this. As an African-American man, Don Lemon should have known better than to run up in a church on a Sunday protesting with people worshiping the Lord. That alone should get you some fine or jail time. The Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Don't forget the newest segment every Friday, 7:48, Rant On. You have 10 seconds to yell and scream and say whatever you want. We'll be right back.